It's about to start again. What's up, everybody? So great to see y'all today. Super excited that everybody is on. By the way, just before we get started, you all, I want you to know that unfortunately, my co-host, Jenny, she will not be here today. So y'all, even though she's not here right now, go ahead, type in the chat, Jenny, we love you, we love you, we love you. I want to make sure that she gets that love. She's dealing with a family emergency right now. But everything is good so far. So I'm definitely going to be checking in with her afterwards. So, all right. Yeah, Jenny is amazing. Like, that's my rock star. Like, we get to hang out a lot and do some amazing work together. All right, so with that being said, if you are new, like this is your first time ever attending the session, go ahead, type in the chat, me. I just want to see, I want to recognize our new people. If this is your first time ever being here, awesome. What's up? Okay, I see y'all. All right. Alyssa, JD, Oscar, Sarah, Felicia, Maya, Alina, Avery. Wow, it's so amazing. So amazing. Chase, Colleen, super amazing, you all. And I'm just going to tell y'all now, I might sneeze a couple of times during the session. Allergy season is acting up and I feel asleep. Woo! Okay, so I just need to let y'all know because it's about to be that type of day today. Thank you, Peggy. I appreciate that. All right, y'all. So we got a couple of things to get covered today. One announcement before we go any further. For the people who have done the True Colors assessment, there are a couple of people who, if you sent it in, you may not have gotten an answer. And here's a couple of reasons why. Number one, in the True Colors assessment, it does ask you for your email address. Now, if you completed everything, but you didn't type in your email address, we have no way of sending that information to you. Number two, if you did the True Colors assessment and you put in just one letter for each section, the assessment cannot fully be counted because it does require you. So for the first session, it tells you to put in order of what matches you the most to what matches you the least. So if it's A, B, C, D, and you just put D, it's not gonna work. And some did come through like that. So you would need to put D is your number one. So D, C, A, B. We need those 4 letters to make sure. So I definitely want to make sure that we do get the True Colors assessment to you. And for those of you who haven't gotten one, that may be the reason why you haven't gotten it yet, okay? If you just submitted it this morning, I know some people submitted it recently, you're gonna get it within the next couple of days. I know this past week we had a little bit of a technical glitch behind the scenes, but we're all set. All right, that's enough of that stuff right now. So here is a couple of things. Here's our moment, our get real moment. Let me get my coffee, because I know we always have that ready to go. So if you are having coffee, water, whatever, cheers to you. All right, so for our Get Real segment today, I want to find out from you all. I know a couple of people who live in Nevada, particularly the Las Vegas area. And I know last night, they got the announcement that school was going to be out for the rest of the year. If you're currently at school, or if they have canceled your school for the rest of the year, go ahead and type in the chat, what school it is and all of that. If that has happened to you. Moravian Academy, okay, anyone else? Wow, Volcano, really? So they are, wow. This is wow. So Colony High School, Linden, Volcano Vista. Wow, it's a huge school. Sheboygan, South Medford, Maine South, Glenbard West. I believe those are in Illinois, I'm not sure. And then online school starts Monday, but it won't be the same. Yeah, it won't. Let's be real. It's not going to be the same. Mayfield High School in Las Cruces. Wow, Mayfield. Episcopal, Ruidoso Middle School, Rantoul. Really? Wow, Rantoul. Ruidoso, Sheboygan, Mayfield, Albuquerque High. Wow. Brush High School, Eisenhower. Is that the Peyton? Is that the Eisenhower in Illinois? Blue Island, Illinois, Albuquerque. All Illinois schools are closed. What? Wow. Albuquerque, Mayfield. Wow. Colorado has canceled in-person instruction for the rest of the year. Okay. And you all may hear my dog barking. All Texas schools are closed. Wow. City High, Middle. All right. So we're getting a lot of people who like schools are closed. And for those of you, I know schools are closed. How many of y'all like school has been canceled for the rest of the year? Like I know some schools are saying, you know what, we're canceling school for the rest of the year. And if that is you, type me in the chat. They're canceling it for the rest of the year. But what they're saying is, all right, so whatever you got in that particular class, whatever grade you got up to that point, that is the grade that you're going to have for the year, right? Wow, this is very interesting. Y'all, these are unprecedented times. So let me ask you all this. How does that make you feel? Like, I know, especially for my seniors, my juniors, like there's plans like senior prom and all of that. How does that make you all feel? So we have very scared, uncertain, sad, right? Let's see, frustrated, disappointed, really stressed, unsure, anxious, spent 12 years in school to miss the best part. Beth, are you a senior? Anxious, I'm struggling. Yeah. As a junior, it's extremely stressful when it comes to standardized testing. Yeah, like the SATs and ACTs, all of that is like a big question mark for a lot of people right now. It sucks because we won't get a grade. It's pass or fail. So if you worked hard, you don't even get the A. Wow. And I know for some people that's very important when it comes to your GPA. Stressed, sad, and we still have to do a placement test at the beginning of the year. Wow. We can't even really be able to retake certain standardized tests. Yeah, so much for AP classes, you all. So here's the thing. I just want to acknowledge, and you all know how we do it at Generation Leadership. Before we get into any leadership lessons or anything like that, like we want to have a real conversation about what we're dealing with. Here's one thing I've learned about leadership is there's this misconception that you have to put everything about your life to the side and then be a leader. And the truth of the matter is y'all, that's so unrealistic. You know, I have this thing where I say, if you resist it, it persists. If you resist, it persists. So in the chat, I want you all to put, if you resist, it persists. So if you resist, it persists. Go ahead and type that in the chat right now. If you resist it, it persists. If you resist, it persists. If you resist, it persists. Right. Here's why I want to say that, because a lot of times, and look, I'm just, y'all know me. I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to tell the truth. I'm just going to, you know, and a lot of people, like I've had other people or other speakers or other colleagues to me say, wow, you shouldn't put your business out there like that. I'm like, why not? Like, I think when people look at me, they have this certain assumption that, you know, I'm superhuman. I don't get affected by anything. Nothing bothers me. Y'all, I was up to 1 o'clock in the morning dealing with a situation around my business where it was one of those situations where I could have sat and cried about it, but I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and deal with this. Let me go ahead and fix it. So we all have problems. And the reason why I think it's important as a leader to be very transparent, I'm not saying you got to tell everybody all your business. Don't do that, because some people are just not nice and they're going to try to use it. And they're going to be like, well, you know, when we talked a couple of weeks ago, you said you was. How many of y'all have ever had somebody take your words and turn them around on you and use them on you? How many of y'all have ever had that? Like, can I get an amen up in here? I'm not trying to preach, but okay, thank you, preach. Okay, so truth of the matter is people do that. So when you're being transparent, you can be transparent, you can be vulnerable. It doesn't necessarily mean that everyone has to know all of your business. So let's be very clear about that. But what I am saying, I think it is important for people to see that you are human. As a leader, people do this weird thing. Like, as soon as you get a title, as soon as they see you as someone who's standing out, all of a sudden they just dismiss your humanity and they're like, oh, your life is supposed to be perfect. How many of y'all have ever been put in that situation where people, like, either you got a position or you were in a certain class or something, and all of a sudden people were just like, oh, well, you don't have issues, you don't hurt, you don't, yeah, yeah. How has that? Were you like a team captain? Were you president, secretary, treasurer of something? Like, what was it that you do? Yeah, somebody. I get it because I go to private school, right? Like, oh, you go to private school now. You don't have issues. No, boo. I got more issues because I'm dealing with you right now. Like, seriously. So here's the thing, everyone. I want you to get that it's okay to be very transparent. And I appreciate each and every one of you all just being transparent when you come to these generation leadership sessions, because let's be real, we don't get to do that often. We don't get to really say what we are. Supervisor of the middle school program and have a 30-year age gap of my yeah. So collective series, yeah, that's dealing with something, right? The thing is, it's okay to be human. I was just having a conversation with my good friend Angela yesterday, and I believe you're on right now. So, man, shout out to you, Angela. An amazing conversation. And one of the things that we talked about was that if you resist it, it persists. And we really talked about how standing in the face of it and dealing with it makes you more aware of the type of person that you are. It makes you super aware of your emotions. Like, if you try to fight, like, I'm not going to be mad right now. I should be mad, but I'm not going to be mad. You're going to push that down, push it down, and then blow up. How many of y'all have ever had a situation where you kept pushing something down because you didn't want to deal with it, and somebody said the wrong word to you? Instead of saying blue crayon, they said red crayon, and you went off all of a sudden. You're like, what do you mean red crayon? I don't understand. How many of y'all have ever had that? I had that a couple of days ago. I'm just going to be real. I'm just going to be real with y'all, right? So to be a powerful leader, yes, when we talk about true colors and we learn our strengths and we learn our weaknesses and we learn how to interact with other people, and we're going to be doing some interacting today, just so y'all know. So if you want to volunteer, go ahead, get camera ready, put on a hat, do whatever you need to do, because I had a lot of fun bringing people on camera last week. We're going to do that again today. So, it's very important that we just have that moment where we can be okay and deal with it. I have had my moments where, look, a couple of weeks ago, some information was given to me, y'all, and I was upset. Like, have you ever been so angry, so upset, like you didn't know whether to cry or like you just didn't know what to do with yourself? Like, I was at that point, I got this information, and like literally like my whole world changed in a matter of moments. And when I got that information, I was so upset. I was so hurt. I was just like in tears, on the verge of tears. And I'm a 6'2" Black man, bald, look good. But people look at me and they're like, oh, you're supposed to be strong. Yeah, the strength is that I'm able to express my emotions. I'm gonna say this. You are strong when you're able to responsibly express your emotions. You are weak when you hide them. Real talk. So I had that moment. I literally shut down my day. I ended the rest of my day and I said, you know what? I'm going to have an attitude. I don't want to talk to nobody. And I was dealing with that. I wasn't resisting it. I was ticked off and I was just dealing with all of it. And then I said, okay, when I lay down tonight, I'm going to be done with this and tomorrow is going to be a new day. So I had my day. I went through all of that, dealt with all of that. And then sure enough, afterwards, went to bed, woke up the next morning and I was like, all right, let's go. So for all of my people in here who are dealing with canceled school, you're dealing with, your school not being able to figure out the whole online situation. You're dealing with missing your prom. And one thing I've seen that's been so amazing online, Instagram, and all that different stuff are people who have missed their prom. They had already bought the prom dress, the prom suit, and this, that, and the other. and I think someone on here last week said their family got together and created a prom for their sister or their daughter. That's so amazing. Like there's so many things. Like if you actually deal with it, and we go back to day one when we talked about number one, surrender, and surrendering is accepting what is as it is without trying to change it. That's what they did, and they created that prom. So what? Now what? Everybody type in the chat real quick. So what? Now what? Let's revisit that real quick. For those of you, this is your first time, we talked about the concept of so what, now what. And so what, now what simply means this. Okay, this is happening right now. I can't change it. I don't have control over when the schools open, when they close. I don't have control over when they open the country. I don't have control over when I get to go to my next vacation. I don't have any control. All right, so what? Now what? Now what am I going to do? Now what am I going to say? What am I going to be in this moment? And we always have a choice. So I just wanted to touch bases with everyone. And please just know, you all always get an email from me when it comes, and that's my personal email address, y'all. So real talk. If there's something that comes up for you where it's like just a struggle and you just need to be reminded of so what, now what, I'm that type of person where if you send me an email and you're like, all right, please remind me of so what, now what, I'll reply like, so what, now what you gonna do next? Like, that's what we're here for. I don't ever want you all to think I'm like this entity that's far away. Like, that's just me. Those of you who have worked with me before, especially my ILS family, y'all know we're family. Right? Like we can reach out to each other. We can connect with each other. A conversation with Angela, man, shout out to her because I've known Angela since she was a sophomore in high school. Angela's out running the world now. She's, lives in Chicago, working things out, living in surrender. And so what, now what? And it's so amazing. And you know what she puts in here? Give yourself a time limit to feel your feels and then decide on your action moving forward. Yeah, put a time limit on it. Put a time limit on it. If I didn't stress that, let me stress that. Thank you, Angela. If you're gonna have a temper tantrum, throw it and throw it hard, but put a time limit on it. Be like, I'm just gonna stomp around the house for 10 minutes. And some of y'all are like, are you serious? Yes. Ask my dog. She has witnessed me have several moments like this, but I give myself the space to do that, and then I cut that time off. How many of you all are getting value out of this conversation? Go ahead and type me, yes, whatever in the chat. Yeah, what's the thing that's sticking out to you the most? What's the thing that you're hearing right now? And I know it's just me and today, and like Jenny and I, we go back and forth, but what is the one thing that's really sticking out to you and what I'm saying? Go ahead and type that in the chat. What's sticking out to you? And I know it's going to take a second. It's okay to feel. Yes, it's okay to feel. You're human. Here's the thing. I don't know why people think that when we become a certain title or whatever, like all of a sudden we're not allowed to feel anymore. Child, please. Actually, you need to be way more in touch with your feels because now you're dealing with other people who don't want to feel. So that's very important, right? Let's say it's great to be human. It is. Vulnerability to letting stuff out, please. It's okay and also important to express your emotions, negative or positive. Now, let me put a caveat in here. If you're expressing negative emotions, here's the thing, be responsible. And when I say be responsible, if you are around people and you just start stomping around, look, I will tell people in a heartbeat, this is me. And you can ask my mom, my sister. When I'm in a moment and I'm just like upset and I'm just doing my thing, and they're like, I will literally tell them, look, I need 10 minutes just to be upset. Don't try to stop me. Just let me have my moment. I'm about to go outside and scream. I don't want you to think anything is wrong. I just need to get this out right now. Like, don't just walk in the middle of the living room while everybody's sitting down watching Netflix and you just stand in front of the TV and just say, ah, all of us, like, no, let's be responsible about it, okay? What else? Vulnerability to letting stuff out. Yes, it's great to be human. I said that. You're not perfect. Nobody is perfect. The moment you're perfect is the moment you've let me know you're one of the most plastic people ever. Perfect is overrated. To me, perfect is this thing of saying you're going to get to a point and you don't have to do anymore. You're always growing as a leader. The moment you stop growing as a leader is the moment you start dying as a leader. Time limit, fill it. Now what? Exactly. Put a time limit on it. Get through it. Now what? It honestly just helps knowing there are other people who are going through the same thing. Why do I feel like breaking out in the High School Musical right now? We're all in this together. And I know some of y'all just kept singing that song. All right. Showing and allowing emotions is strength. It is. You're strong when you let yourself feel your emotions. Yeah. It's okay to feel, but don't get stuck on your feelings because then you can't keep moving forward. Hashtag PreachCast. Just saying. Ariana says, take time to do what you have to do. You don't have to hide your feelings. You don't. Vulnerability is legit so important. It is. It really is, especially when working with others. Emotions make you stronger. Vulnerability is strength. And there's no reason to fear being transparent with others. What you look like doesn't define your emotions. See, all of y'all snaps. See, y'all are snapping up in this chat today. Jenny would like lose it. Like, it makes me feel okay for sharing frustrations and sharing how I'm feeling. Yeah, it's okay. Look, I'm gonna say this, then we're gonna move on. Like, when people ask you, how are you doing? Stop lying to you and stop lying to them. If you're having a bad day, say, oh, I'm okay. That's resisting it. That is resisting it. If someone asks you, how are you? Are you okay? When people ask me, I'll say either I'm working through it or it's not my best day, but it's gonna turn around soon. Like, I'm very upfront because I don't want people, because what's gonna happen is if you say okay, first of all, how many of y'all have ever had a friend where you've asked them, are you okay? They said they're okay and you knew they weren't okay. Like, type me in the chat. Like, if you've ever had to deal with that. Like, yeah, like, stop it. People read through it anyway. You could put on the biggest smile, but people still read through it anyway, right? So, y'all, it's very important that we have this conversation. This is our Get Real portion. I'm super excited. Thank you so much for choosing to be here at Generation Leadership today, training. It means a lot that we all get to come together. And that's why I love having these conversations, because sometimes we just need to know someone else is going through it along with us, all right? All right, y'all. So we're going to switch. Everybody type in the chat, say switch, switch, switch. Switch. Right. So we're getting ready to get into true colors, but the focus is going to be on communication today. I just need to know what color is representing the most today. Let me see in the chat. What color is representing the most? Orange, blue, go, green, blue, orange. Oh, okay. Oh, some of y'all are snap blue, baby. Oh, blue is just so possessive. Orange, green, orange, blue heart. They didn't even type blue. They typed the blue. Thank you, Oscar. Go, blue, go. Blue, baby. Go, orange, blue. Gold, blue and orange, right? Gold, blue. I'm just saying, blues are representing. I'm just saying. Oh, the castles are orange. Oh, that's so nice. Green. All right, y'all. So it's very important that we are very clear about what it means to, number one, know our strengths. Like, we know what our strengths are. Number two, to know our, I like to call it low down, dirty, ugly side, but to be professional, we'll say areas for improvement, right? So it's one thing when you're someone who you're clear about what your strengths and what your areas for improvement are, you can operate differently. Listen, I know for me, I am a hardcore blue, but I also know that that one of the areas that I need to work on is sometimes I need to speak up. Sometimes I need to really speak my truth. Like, when people don't agree with me or this and the other, sometimes I need to stand up for myself. Now, I'm not sitting down. Don't roll up on me and think you're going to pick a fight and I'm not going to come back. I'm from the south side of Chicago. I will take you down, right? But the thing is knowing what your area for improvement is it makes you a stronger leader. Because if someone asks you to do something or partake in something, you're going to be like, I'm sorry, you might want to find someone else to do that. But that's where you need to, well, I need to learn to speak up. So in today's training, we're going to shift that into communication. So here is what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask for a volunteer, but before you volunteer, couple of things. Number one, I am going to bring you on camera so we can all see you, and I'm just going to have a couple of questions. It's going to be around communication, like how do you like people to communicate with you? What irritates you when people communicate with you? So I'm looking for a blue, a green, an orange, and a gold. Who'd be willing to come on? Okay. So I see some hands up. So go ahead and put your, raise your hand. All right. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me do this another way. Everybody put your hands down. Lower your hands real quick. Lower your hands real quick. I'm going to go by color. If you are a blue and you'd like to volunteer, go ahead and raise your hand. All right. So, Avery, I'm going to be bringing you on. And when I bring you on, it's going to ask you, I'm going to switch you over to what's called a panelist. And it's going to ask you to turn on your camera and your microphone. So, Avery, I'm coming your way. All right. And just be ready so I can ask you a couple of questions. Everyone else, go ahead and lower your hand. All right. Avery, how are you?
Good in yourself.
Good. Hi.
Hi.
All right. So, Avery, you are a blue, yes?
Yes, sir.
All right. Oh, yes, sir. So official. Oh my God. So, and I just feel so old when people call me sir. I call my grandfather sir, and he's like 80 something years old. All right. So anyway, Avery, couple of questions for you. So when it comes to communication, how do you like people to communicate with you? Like when they talk to you, how do you like them to approach you in communication?
Personally, I prefer face-to-face because I can see their genuine reactions and how they really mean something when they're saying it. Over text is a little harder just because you don't know how they're feeling, what they feel towards it, or what they're going to say towards your situation. And it's kind of hard to read them through text. And so I would say face-to-face. I like face-to-face better just because it's more genuine.
Got you. Is part of the reason face-to-face, do you like to kind of pick up on their body language, how they're posturing themselves? Does that make a big difference for you?
Yeah, I think it definitely does. You can say something and not mean it over text, but when you say something in person, it's more meaningful and you grasp exactly what they're saying and how they feel towards what they're saying. Got
you. Next question. What irritates you the most in communication? Like when people approach you, what just puts you on edge when they communicate with you?
I think when someone's distracted, like when they're not making that eye contact, or they're just lollygagging around, oh yeah, so this, you don't really get that face-to-face contact. And I don't know, it just irks me. I'm like, why can't you, if we're having a face-to-face conversation, I would like it to be, face-to-face, not, over here, so.
By the way, Oranges, she talking to y'all, just so y'all know. Not trying to throw y'all up under the bus, but all right. Avery, thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to add about what you like or dislike in communication when people communicate with you?
I think it's really important to let the other person know what kind of communication you like, because if they don't know and if they're not on the same level as you, it's hard to get that connection between two people or how many people it is. So just knowing what base of communication they like is really important, and knowing that they like this one better than the other and what their reasons are behind it is really important.
Awesome. Y'all put some snaps in the chat for Avery. Avery, thank you for being so brave and volunteering. So I'm going to go ahead and switch you off. Okay. And so...
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. All right, Oranges, let's go ahead. Oranges, if you'd like to volunteer to talk about your communication, go ahead and raise your hand. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go with with Ariana. Ariana, so everyone else go ahead and lower your hands real quick. All right. Ariana, in a moment, I'm getting ready to bring you on. Y'all, how many of y'all like when we bring on other people? Like, how many of y'all like that? I think that's pretty awesome. All right. Hey, Ariana.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Awesome, awesome. So, Ariana, you're representing the Oranges, okay?
Yes.
So, my question is, how do you like to be communicated with? Like, when people communicate with you, how do you like them to approach you?
Well, like mostly if like during like quarantine, I would like them to like FaceTime me instead of texting me because like Avery said, anything could mean anything over text. Like they could say LOL and they could still be like, oh, whatever, like that was nothing. So
So you like that? You like to see them as well. Like if you tell a joke, you
definitely.
want to make sure that they're laughing. Is that what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you this. What irritates you the most about how people approach you in communication?
Oh my gosh, like whenever, so like I said, I love face to face, right? But then another thing with face to face is like they could be standing like a wrong way or like saying words wrong, and I'm like, oh my god, stop, nope, mm-mm. Like you got to stand up straight, you got to say the words right, like
All right. Next question. Or is there anything else you like to add, like that you like or dislike when it comes to people communicating with you?
No, not really.
Awesome, awesome. Well, Ariana, is it Ariana or Ariana?
Ariana.
Ariana, almost like Arik. Ariana, awesome. All right. So Ariana, thank you so much. Everybody, put
Thank
snaps in the chat for Ariana. Thank you so
Bye.
much for being here. All right. So, let's go with greens. If you are a green and you would like, now watch, I guarantee you it's going to take a little bit longer for them to raise their hand. Watch. I know, Cass, you've already had your hand up. Now, I know it's some greens in the chat. I know it's some greens in the chat. We got one volunteer out of like about 10 greens. All right, well, I'm going to choose you. Thank you. Thank you for volunteering as tribute. Hey, Will, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Oh, what's going on? Oh my God. By the way, is that like William on your wall, like in cursive?
Uh-huh.
Shucky ducky quack quack. Now I'm jealous. I like that. All right. Will, so how are you? Where you from, Will?
Good. Glen Allen outside of Chicago.
Bring it on. Bring it on. Good to see you. Good to see you. So, when it comes to people communicating with you, as a green, how do you like people to approach and or communicate with you?
I just like when people are straightforward, kind of black and white, no gray, know what they're saying, know what they want from me.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it simple.
Okay, very good, very good. Now, what irritates you when people approach you?
If people are just kind of like lackadaisical, la-di-da, not really sure, not really straightforward. It's like confusing and annoying.
Got you. Let me ask you this. When people talk to you, do you like a lot of detail or not so much?
I like details. Make it clear, know what's happening, no way for them to be confused or me to be confused. Make it straightforward.
Awesome, awesome. Anything you'd like to add about how you like for people to approach you or not approach you when it comes to communication?
I think it's good to have fun too. Like it can be straightforward, but you can have a good time with it too. Like it can be black and white, but doesn't have to be super serious all the time. So
yeah, well, let me ask you another question. Do you get misread for being very strict or boring at times?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Now my interaction with you, I don't feel like you're boring at all. But I think when it comes to people who are like, okay, give me the black and white, they're like, oh my gosh, you're so serious. Oh my God. And then do people almost get surprised like when you crack a joke at times or like when you like just turn up? Are people like, oh my God, look at Will?
Sometimes, yeah.
All right, well, listen, thank you so much for being on today. Thank you for being the brave soul to represent the Greens today. All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks for being here. All right, last we have our golds. Golds. Go ahead and raise your hand in the chat. Awesome. 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 Oh, okay. Golds were like, it was like 20 hands that went up at the same time. Who am I going to choose out of the golds? Caroline. Let's go, Caroline. All right, so everybody go ahead and put your hand down except for Caroline. Caroline, you're going to be coming right on. You're going to be representing the golds. Oh, I'm sorry. I chose Alina. Alina, do you want to go because it moved, or would you want Caroline to go?
You can have Caroline to go because I'm an orange.
Got it. My apologies. Well,
No,
thank you,
you're fine.
Orange. Thank you. All right. Hold on a second, y'all. That's a beautiful picture, by the way. Like, snaps for the
Thank
picture in
you.
the chat, y'all. Just snaps for the picture. All right. All right, I'm gonna get it right this time. All right. I hope I get, yes, Carolina. Caroline, why am I saying Carolina? Like mixing your first and your,
It's all good.
what's up?
Hello.
Like mixing them. Carolina. Caroline, how are you? Good to see you again.
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome, awesome. So now for you, representing the golds, how do you like people to communicate with you?
I'm kind of like Will. I don't really care if it's face-to-face, over the phone, over text. I just like a good, honest, straightforward answer.
Mm-hmm. Okay, bring it on. And when do people irritate you when it comes to communicating?
I really, really, really don't like it when people beat around the bush and
Mhm.
instead of having an opinion of their own or like a strong stance on something,
Mhm.
they just want me to kind of fill in the details for them. And then once I fill in the details, they're like, oh, I didn't want that. That's not right. And I'm like, but you didn't tell me. Like,
Awesome. Anything else you'd like to add about what you like when it comes to communication, or you dislike, or what irritates you? Anything else?
I mean, I think everyone else really covered it. I mean, kind of honesty from Will, and obviously like having a good bit of fun, and face to face is nice because you get to kind of analyze people as you're going, but
Mhm.
I really just do like a straight, honest answer, and I like it quickly.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and quickly wrap this up so we can, no, just, Caroline, thank you so much for volunteering. Appreciate that. Thank you for shedding that light. And thank you for being here again. It's really awesome that you come to hang out with this goofy one.
I've been here every time.
Thanks, Caroline. All right, Joe. So I wanted to make sure we got on other people, and I'm going to kind of dig into this a little bit. And by the way, in the type snaps in the chat for all the people who volunteered. So let's show them some love. Awesome, awesome. And you all, for those of you all who I didn't choose, don't worry, there's going to be other opportunities today. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I kind of want to break down a couple of things, like how to approach different colors. And we talked a little bit about this, you know, and I don't know, last week, did we get into platinum rule last week? Anyone? Does anyone? Okay, no? All right, great. So this is a great opportunity for us to talk about the platinum rule. Who can type in the chat what the golden rule is? What is the golden rule? I'm just going to take a... Treat others how you want to be treated. Alina, thank you so much for that. Thank you. So treat others the way you want to be treated. Now, that is so noble. Like, you know we like respect. We know we like to be approached a certain way. Do unto others as you will have them do unto you. Exactly. Like, that is the golden rule, which I think is amazing and it's fabulous. However, I also believe it's very flawed. It's extremely flawed. How many of you, and you're going to type in the chat, me or whatever you want to type, how many of you have ever had a conversation with someone and you were talking one way, you were saying one thing, they were saying another thing, y'all were saying the same thing, but somehow y'all were like butting heads about it? How many of y'all have ever had that experience? Because at the end, you're like, well, I was saying the same thing. And they're like, oh, yeah, well, I was saying the same thing too. right? Believe it or not, everyone, JD said all the time. Part of the reason why we go through this whole bumping of the heads is because when we're talking to someone, we're implementing the golden rule. So I'm just going to use this example. If I'm in orange and I approach a gold and I'm having a conversation, and gold, I want you to type in the chat like how you feel about this information, right? So let's say I'm in orange. Oh my God, so the party, like, you want to know what color balloons we want? Look, I was hanging out with Tammy the other day, and we were like up in Forever 21, and we saw this real cute dress. It was like extra cute, and I'm like loving it. And we couldn't figure out what the color was, if it was like a beige or if it was like an eggshell color. Golds, if you're getting irritated right now by this conversation, go ahead and type that in the chat. Yeah, and so we were thinking about like, oh my God, so like maybe we should do like eggshell. Maybe it was cream or maybe it was beige. I don't know. So anyway, what ended up happening was we went down to Macy's, and while we was up at Macy's, we saw a dress kind of the similar color, but all of a sudden it really wasn't, like, but we decided instead of doing like the eggshell color, like maybe we should do like turquoise green, like, but oh my God, that would look so good, well, like with what I'm wearing for, okay, how many of y'all are just irritated? Oh, please stop. Okay, Daisy, thank you. Daisy said, please stop talking, right? So just going off of what Caroline said earlier, it's like, don't beat around the bush, just give me a straight up answer. So, but if I am implementing the golden rule, I'm interacting with an orange like, I'm interacting with a gold like they're in orange, and they're not. So that's why I say it's flawed. So here's the thing. The platinum rule, I say everyone implements. The platinum rule is this: do unto others as they would have you do unto them. Do unto others as they would have you do unto them. So if I'm to take the same example, let's say the gold said, what color are the balloons that you want for prom? My response would be turquoise green. Golds, how many of you all would love it if people communicated that clear to you? Like, it's just very straight. Like, there was no story behind the color of it. There was no, like, we saw all these other colors. If a gold is asking you, hey, check it. What will be the color of the balloons? Give them a straight up answer. Don't beat around the bush. So I'm going to talk about how to approach each of the colors. So let's go ahead and start with the gold since I started with them. Number one, when you approach a gold in communication, be very direct. Be very straight up. Now, I joke about this, and golds, don't take this the wrong way, but golds will almost prefer that you do not speak in feelings. They almost prefer that you just give them the straight up answer, even if something went wrong. Golds, if you agree with me on that, go ahead and type in the chat, like, I agree, truth, period. Yes, Caroline. Right, so it's like, even if something goes wrong, they would rather you, so let's say you had to deliver on a project, and in delivering on this project, you didn't come up with $1,000. You only came up with $599. If you approach a goal and you're like, well, I was trying so hard to like make the $1,000 and I thought I could do it, and I asked my auntie and my uncle and everybody, they're gonna shut you out, or they're gonna get irritated, and then they're gonna kind of push you. But if you come to them and they're like, the goal was $1,000, how much did you raise? And they say, and you say $599. They're like, they're good with that. They're okay with that, because what you don't realize is if you have not met that deadline, they're gonna start turning on their resources to figure out how to make that deadline happen. Golds, am I knocking on the right door? Let me know. And I wanna make sure I'm representing y'all well. Like, so it's just being very straight up. Like, just don't beat, like Caroline said earlier, don't beat around the bush. That's number one. So just be very direct, talk in information details, like that's it, right? The other thing I want to say about golds, when you're approaching them and you're working on a project with them, oftentimes they get misread. And here's why I say they get misread. If they're working on a project with you and they're trying to teach you how to do something, it's not coming from an egotistical standpoint. It's just coming from a standpoint of, look, I want you to know what I know. Believe it or not, they're some of the best mentors you will ever meet. They love teaching other people what they know, but because they can be very direct at times, they're misread as being egotistical. Oh, you doing too much. Oh, why you being so mean? They're not being mean, they're being direct. And oftentimes the goals get misread for that. So again, when you're communicating with the goal, be straight up, talk in details, not necessarily feelings or anything like that. And then also like just allow them to teach you. And when they teach you, when they mentor you, you almost want to repeat back to them what they taught you. Because when they teach you something, if they say to you, okay, so for this project, you need to do A plus B to get C. Don't be like, thank you, and walk away. Actually turn around and say, okay, so I'm going to be clear. In order to make this work, A plus B equals C. Is that right? That lets them know that they taught you well. That lets them know that they're very good on that. All right, Golds, if you're feeling what I'm saying, give me snaps in the chat. Okay, so that's implementing the platinum rule when it comes to communicating with the golds. Let's talk about, oh, and then also here's the last thing I want to add. When you're talking to golds and greens, I'm getting ready to switch over to green, but when you're talking to golds and greens, they deal in task. They think task. They're not necessarily people driven or feelings driven. They're very task driven. So when they talk tasks, it's facts, it's information. That's what they need. Let's go ahead and switch over to the greens. Greens get one of the bad raps because greens tend to be introverts. They tend to be to themselves, but how they process information is internally. Now, here's what separates the greens from the golds. Greens, they love details and details on top of details. But when you're dealing with golds, the only details that they want is connected to the results. So if you start giving a whole bunch of extra details, the golds are going to check out. But whereas the greens, they're like, give it to me, give me that information. So when you're talking to green, give them the details and then ask them if they need any more information. Also, when you're dealing with the greens, don't be turned off by the fact they may be more silent during a conversation and they'll ask you some very pointed, direct questions, you know, or they may tease out something to try to get that additional information. Greens, am I knocking on the right door? Please let me know if I'm representing you all well. Let me know. Awesome. So you just want to give them that information. And, you know, I've worked with greens before. And the thing is when I talk to them, I'm like, okay, so what needs to happen is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Is there anything else you need to know? I always follow up with that last question. Is there anything else you need to know? Because of the simple fact, you think you may have all the information, but they're going to turn around and ask you another question to get some additional information, all right? Those are the greens. When you're approaching them, approach them with the details, and then approach them with follow-up questions. Here's all the information that I have. Do you need anything more? And stop thinking greens are these anti-social people. They are not. They know how to turn up as well. They could probably like twerk harder than you because in their mind, they've processed how they should move this bone and this fibula and all that fun stuff to make it actually work. So I'm just saying, talk about twerking. Let's talk about the oranges real quick. Oranges are very people driven. Oranges are all about fun. So when you approach an orange, now greens, this might make y'all die a little on the inside when you're approaching an orange. But when you're approaching an orange, you're gonna approach them in turn up mode. You're gonna be like, yo, what's up? How was your toast today? They're gonna love it. They're gonna be like, what's going on? My toast was buttered and I put some maple syrup on it. They're gonna stand on the table. They're gonna start dancing for no reason. Here's the other thing you should know about oranges. They're very restless. Like they may be talking to you, and I know, like sometimes, like for my blues especially, like a blue may be like, so how was your day? And the orange is gonna be like, it was good. It was good. How you doing? How you doing? And the blues are like just on the inside, right? So the truth of the matter is they're always gonna be in turn up mode. Also know when you're approaching an orange, they're gonna go on a tangent. They are. Let them go on that tangent. but ask them a redirecting question. It's all good. Oranges, am I missing anything else? I think I represented you all well. And oranges are all about feel goods. That's the other thing. When you approach them, they're all about the feel goods, okay? Lastly, and this time is going so fast. Oh my gosh. Blues. Let's talk about the blues. Number one, blues are all about feelings. They are all about feelings. They're concerned about their feelings, but they're more concerned about your feelings. As a matter of fact, they'll put their feelings on hold in order to address your feelings, even if it means putting themselves on the back burner. Now, I don't encourage this, but I'm just speaking truth. Blues, am I talking like, am I representing? Yeah. Here's the thing. Other thing you should know about blues. I'm especially going to say this to my golds. Keep your aggression when it comes to the blues. If you approach them aggressively, they're going to check out. And when they check out, they're going to give you shade. They're going to be so shady. And they're going to be like, well, why are you being like that? If you approach a girl like, hey, I told you to get that project done. Why you ain't get that project done? You know, Blue is going to be like, oh, you did? Okay. Well, I mean, I guess I'll check my schedule. Their schedule is wide open. I'll check my schedule and I'll let you know. When you calm down a little bit, I'll let you know. Like, Blues, am I knocking on the right door? I know I'm especially talking to me. Do not approach me aggressively. You can approach me sincerely, but aggression does not work with me. And if you approach me with aggression, I am going to shut you down. And ultimately, my mind switches into, how can I make you feel small? It's not that I'm proud of that, but I'm just speaking truth. So last thing I want to say, you all, because I want to get you all out of here on time. By the way, are you all enjoying this session? Is this a good session? I feel like, some of the information is kind of repeat, but I hope it's still valuable for you all. And I'm missing my girl Jenny right now. So one thing, I want to give you something called the golden question. Earlier, I mentioned how you can have a 3-minute conversation with someone, and in less than 3 minutes, you can almost figure out what their color is. So here's how you do it. And Ariana, I would love to say yes, stay longer, but unfortunately, I do have to keep a cap on time because I promised a specific time. Just make sure you come back next week, okay? Stop asking people, how was your day? The golden question for you to get to know someone is, tell me about your day. So let me give you all a quick test on this. I'm going to answer the question, tell me about your day, and you're going to type in the chat what color you think that person is. So tell me about your day. Oh my gosh, my day was all about the business. We turned up watching TV on Netflix with my sister. We had so much fun. Yeah, oranges, yeah. Oranges are going to turn up. They're going to be like, and that's a little bit extreme, but when you y'all funny. When you say, tell me about your day. Oh my gosh, my day was amazing. And if you notice they're going on a tangent, you're probably dealing with an orange. How about this one? Hey, tell me about your day. Well, today I woke up this morning at 8 o'clock and I knew today at 11 I had to join on for Generation Leadership. So I made sure that I had to have my breakfast by a specific time and did it green. Yeah, it's green. Like, they're going to talk in details. They're going to give you a whole bunch of details. All right. Tell me about your day. My day was great. Got done what I needed to do. We're good. Go. They're going to be very direct. They're going to cap it in one sentence. They're going to cap a 4-day conference into one sentence, right? And then y'all know the last one. So tell me about your day. My day was great. How about yours? Blues. They're going to turn it right back around on you. All right, y'all. So I hope this was very helpful. There's a couple of things, a couple of business things I want to get out of the way. I'm going to announce the challenge, but before I announce the challenge, I want to announce the winners from last week. So let me share my screen real quick. And let's see here. So we have a couple of honorable mentions. So Emma, thank you for this picture. This was super amazing. I love how the friend was like, orange, I don't have any orange clothes. I love that. That was amazing. The next honorable mention is Graceland. Love this. Love the blue glasses and the orange glasses. So amazing. And our winner is Michaela. So Michaela is the winner for this. And Michaela, here is what you will win. So make sure you email me. Michaela, you have won a $50 cash prize and a free admission to the Stuck at Home conference that I'm speaking at next week. So everybody put snaps in the chat for Michaela. Michaela, make sure you reach out to me so we can go ahead and get that. Super excited to have that. And then the last thing, the challenge for today, you all, is this. Before I do this challenge, you all, I do want to invite you all to the Stuck at Home conference that I'm going to be speaking at next week. It is a paid event, but I just want you to know that I'm not going to be the only person. It's going to be myself. We have EJ Carrion, who's going to be on. He was recognized by Forbes magazine. He's going to be speaking on entrepreneurship. We have Juan Bandana, who's going to be speaking on productivity hacks. We have Sarah Willows, who is actually an Olympian who has participated in the Olympics, who's going to be coming on. So I just want to let you all know, all of my Generation Leadership people, you get 10% off. So what you're going to do is, and I'm going to type this in the chat, is go to Stuck at Home conference. And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think with the 10% discount, it's going to be like $11 or $10 or something like that. But here's how you get that discount. As you go in to apply for it, there's a place, as you get ready to get to your registration, there's an enter promo code. Make sure for that promo code, you enter ARIC, A-R-I-C. Go ahead and enter ARIC. So go to Stuck at Home conference. Wait, are you all seeing this? Y'all are not seeing this, are y'all? I'm typing in the chat. Ain't nobody seeing anything. I'm so sorry. Let's try this again. www.stuckathome. And see conference.com, and then enter promo code ARIC to get your discount. Okay, I would love to see you all in a place. And if you do attend, shoot me an email and say, hey, I purchased my ticket, I'm going to be there, because I definitely want to give a mad shout out. It's going to be amazing. And the way that it's done is going to be speaker, and then they're going to conduct a workshop in between. So check out the website. Would love to have you all on there. If you're on my Instagram, I'm going to be putting that information out there. Now, let's go ahead and introduce the challenge for this week. You all, I'm telling you, this challenge, how many of y'all are sick of reading about negative stuff about COVID-19 on social media? Yeah, like I'm kind of over it. Like, you know, the government did this, they didn't do that. The president said this, he didn't do that. You know, like I'm getting, it's something you have to be careful and monitor. Like garbage in, garbage out. What does that mean? If you're constantly watching all the lies, the trash, and this, that, and the other, if you're constantly putting that in, it, like someone said, it's so heavy. Like you're constantly putting it in, it becomes heavy, then you become heavy. But if what you're putting in, like I can tell you now, I've watched more comedies than anything, because I'm like, during this time, I'm gonna laugh. Yup. The last 3 months of all my speaking engagements have been canceled. I haven't brought in any income over the last 2 months. Yup. I'm gonna laugh. So that's why I'm able to just make sure I'm doing that. Here's what I want to do, y'all. I want us to crack social media. I want us to put a dent in this whole negativity thing. And here is the challenge. Let me go back here. It's what I'm calling My Life During COVID-19. And this is going to be a social media post. By the way, let me just go ahead and say this. We'll dig into it a little bit more next week. Stop posting stuff on social media the moment something happens in your life. Like if something happens in that moment, don't post something when you're mad. Don't post something when someone has ticked you off or said something, because you might end up putting something out there that you can't take back. And here's the thing, I went back and deleted that picture. You never know who screenshot your picture. So let me say this, My Life During COVID-19. So this is gonna be a social media post. It could be on, dare I say, Facebook. Y'all probably gonna think of me like I'm crazy, but like Instagram or wherever you post it, make sure you let me know, okay? Here's what you're gonna post during that time. Oh my God, like I so typed this wrong, y'all. What positive that you shouldn't be there. What positive have you found during this time? That's one thing that you're going to post in the post. What have you learned during Generation Leadership during this time? You're going to post that in the post. And who are the people you are grateful for during this time? And then you're going to tag them, and you're going to use hashtag GenLeadVTS. So basically what that stands for is Generation Leadership Virtual Training Session. Hashtag GenLeadVTS. Can someone type that in the chat real quick? Hashtag GenLeadVTS. It's important that you put that tag, because that is how I'm going to search the social media for the winners, okay? So I want to show you all just real quick. And hold on a second. Trying to think. Here's something I did. I'm just going to share this with you all. I did this earlier this year, and the post will be very similar to this. As a matter of fact, I can send this to you all, like the wording of the post. Now, mine is super long. And this was, I went through a 100-day leadership training program, and I'm just going to read some of it. It was called My Life in the Rearview Mirror, the last 100 days of my life. And I told the people, heads up, long and thoughtful read. For the last 13 weeks, so many, some of you, typos, my apologies, may or may not know that I have been going through a leadership training program with a group of 20 plus strangers. Little did I know they will become a second family to me. With this group, this past week, we chose to do something called a legacy project. We chose to raise funds for a worthy nonprofit 501c3. We had a total of 4 days to raise $40,000 for this charity. I'm not gonna lie, when that goal was set forth, I was thinking, how in the world are we gonna do this? I had my doubts, not only for the overall goal, but I had doubts about me making my total promised amount, and also how could I help the rest of my team meet their goal? I almost saw this feat as impossible, especially given the first 3 days I was either on stage speaking somewhere or on an airplane heading to the next speaking engagement. Those 4 days not only snatched me out of my comfort zone, but it was also set up in a way where I had to operate in a way that I never have before, with limitless possibilities. In 4 days, I and my family destroyed so many self-limiting beliefs and stretched ourselves for a cause that would have an impact on homelessness and veterans. Operating out of all of our comfort zones, 20 of us raised $45,000+ that we contributed. Yes, we were all breathing heavily at the end of the finish line, but we were successful. In reflection, as long as I have been and delivering leadership trainings, I discovered a new leader within myself. I have always been someone who could operate on his own and say, I met the goal. However, working with these amazing leaders, I was not good enough. It was all about us. I was not satisfied until the entire team met the goal. I want to show deep gratitude, Sean Romani, my brother from another mother, for not only introducing me to this training, but for having my back, being a sounding board, and many times a bright, shining example of the power of leadership as I have never seen it. Megan Begley, for having me see I was just touching the tip of my leadership, and the best was yet to come. Chase, for becoming and being a friend who unexpectedly showed up in my life, and no matter who I was or my background, he fully accepted and supported me. Philly Blunt, for being someone who had me trust the process of surrendering to love after my heart had been broken, beat, and destroyed time after time. It amazes me that I can literally say I'm falling in love with my best friend. Annie D, for being someone who thought though we did not talk often, whenever we did, I felt your support in the hard times. Allie Brooks, for just being my hero, being someone who knew I was going through a tough time serving as captain of this team, and you constantly reminded me I was powerful and could do this. Angel Jackson, Mom, you have inspired me so much you have no idea. To see you be willing to continue to take on your life and your growth makes me proud to not only be your son, but to be a man in this world. Michael Pettis, being the father and husband I long to be in life, you are a true story of being a comeback kid. Shane Feldman, being a partner and making a difference in the world, but also being a friend who continues to see nothing but the best in me. Jennifer Buckley, being a colleague who turned friend, turned lifetime friend. Oh my God, some of these are typos, my bad, y'all. Addie Shaw, for being a supporter since day one and trusting me in your growth. Dolores Jackson, being an amazing grandmother who has always seen my greatness since day one. Kari Ebens, being a client turned friend, someone who has been by my side, whoa, this is bad, through many times in my life that were toughest for me. Jacqueline Verger, being my best friend and someone who not only sees the greatness in me, but also allows the space to be vulnerable. Jacques Whitfield, being a friend that has been on this journey. I'm gonna skip the rest of these because I wanna read the last part. There are so many more to thank, and please know if I did not get to you, gratitude is coming your way. This program has taught me so much. It has taught me there are good people in the world who want to support me. Vulnerability is one of the greatest strengths, not my weakness. I had trust issues. I got to address them over the last 100 days. Keeping it real does not mean I have to keep it together all the time. Surrender is a great asset, and it was through surrender I found love. I can play a bigger game, and that breakdowns remind me that I am playing a big game in life and not sitting at home eating Cheetos. I have a choice. I am not my emotions. Emotions are a guiding light to where I am, but that does not mean I have to be ruled by them. Trusting a team of people, even if you don't know them, creates major transformation in the world that I cannot do on my own. I'm responsible for my life, the good, the bad, and the ugly. This equals true power and self-worth. My team has taught me 100% is possible 100% of the time. Being a maniac on a mission is good. Being with a team of maniacs on a mission, the world transforms. They trust me even when I don't trust myself. How to pour into them in a loving way, all while not accepting their excuses, but standing for their true purpose. Leadership is the conversation and context I give it. I've been living in leadership. It's hard, self-sacrificing, and overwhelming. Now leadership for me is an opportunity and a gift I get to experience moment by moment. True servant leadership. By the way, I've accomplished shifting my conversation about my body. I'm hella sexy no matter when or what. I got to pay off $6,000 in debt and save $1,000. I launched my first Facebook marketing campaign for my program, Generation Leadership, created daily habits that feed my mind, bumped up my salsa game. I got some new moves. Watch out, Jacqueline. So there you have it. A long one, but I wanted to share with you. I love each and every one of you. So let me ask you all a question. What did you think about that post? If you're still here, and I know we're over time, we're way over time. I'm so sorry. So yours it does not have to be that long. But if you follow the guidelines, and I'll make sure that I email the guidelines out for the contest, and I'll submit this as an example. So many people were inspired by that post. And this was before COVID. This was like right before COVID was getting ready to happen. But it was also an opportunity for me to acknowledge some very important people in my life. So for you, during this time where we're in the face of desperation, we're in the face of uncertainty, we're in the face of wondering what the next year is gonna look like. If our parents or people in our lives are gonna still have a job, if they're gonna be okay, if they're safe, if they're well, if they're healthy. This is an opportunity for you to create a post that talks about your growth, what you've created in this time during COVID, what you've learned during this time where everybody else is seeing the negative, you found the positive in it, and the people you want to acknowledge for helping you through that process. Again, make sure you use that hashtag GenLeadVTS, and we will be announcing the winner next week. Y'all, thank you so much for staying on here. I know we're way past time. But I just want to end this session by saying 2 words. Simply this. Thank you. I love y'all. Generation Leadership. Have a good day. Bye. She said she likes soca. I said I like polka. Dark skin just like mocha. The lady loves soca.